afternoon, Pepsi family. Welcome to the What's Poppin' at Pepsi Roadshow, Season 1, Episode 5. We are here today with Eric Carnucci, Key Account Manager with Teen Peak, down here at the newest Pepsi facility in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. It's technically Long, South Carolina, isn't it?
It is, sir, yep.
Awesome, excellent. And Eric, tell the folks back home who've never met you, how long have you been with the Pepsi family?
So, well, Chris, it's good to be with you today. I appreciate it, sir. I have been with Pepsi for about 10 years now. In fact, next summer will be officially 10 years.
10 years?
10 years. So, started out as an FSR, worked that channel for about 7 years. About 3 years ago, I was offered a cam role. So, I've been a cam for about 3 years.
So, as FSR, when you were FSR down here in Myrtle Beach, what were your primary responsibilities?
So in the beginning, we did a lot of vending placements, and There's a lot of stories to go back with vending placements because some of my buddies back in the day will tell you that's the ultimate street business, going up and down the street, trying to sell vending machines to anybody and everybody. And we did that for many, many years.
And what was the expectation? How many vending machines, how many vendors did you have to place out there in the market annually?
So between 5 reps, we did 5 per rep per week. So that's 25 per rep per week, 50 weeks a year. It's a lot of vending machines.
Wow, that's do the math on that. That's over 1,200 right there.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's a lot of vending machines.
That's a lot of vending machines.
Yes.
So how's that different to what you're doing now as a key account manager?
That's a great question, Chris. So basically with the cam roll, what I do a lot of now is more account management. So, you go from the single accounts to things like Coastal Carolina University. UNCW, hospitals, I do hospitals now as well, but maintaining that also, I still also have street business. So I also have national accounts like Planet Fitness, and I have, Dick's Sporting Goods, Lowe's, things like that. So pretty well spread out in the company.
So let's bring it back to you just said Coastal Carolina University.
Yes, sir.
And that school has blown up in the last couple of years. I mean,
Yes.
They just won an NCAA championship 2 or 3 years ago in baseball. Is that correct?
Correct.
And then UNCW as well, right? I mean, that's those are some big schools down here in the South.
So, well, just for some perspective, Chris, for me personally, I graduated from Coastal Carolina University before there was teal. They were black and they were red for a really long time. They were a satellite school of USC Columbia.
Wow. Yeah.
That's how old I am. So when I got out to campus, I recognized 3 buildings from when I first started. Now it's, like you said, exploded. My bosses will go out there and be like, this is a really cool place to be. And it's you go out there and you see palm trees, you see stadiums and things that weren't there when I was there.
So you're a Chanticleer. Were they the Chanticleers back then?
They have always been the Chanticleers.
Okay.
So,
right.
Yeah.
Did you know, here's a did you know for the folks back home, but Melissa Jefferson just medaled the other day at the Olympic Games, and she is a graduate of Coastal Carolina University.
She absolutely is. She took the bronze medal in the 100 meters, and we are locally super proud of that.
Awesome. That's great. That's great. But Eric, there's a lot I want to get to because people don't really understand how big your territory and all the responsibilities that you have. But before we go there, we're going to go to commercial break. We'll see you in a few.
Hey, grab me one too.
Welcome back, Pepsi family. Once again, we're here with Eric Carnucci. I'm your host, Chris Egger. We're doing the What's Poppin' at Pepsi Roadshow, Episode 5, right here in the break room at Pepsi's newest facility in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Now, Eric, when we left off, we were about to touch base on the scope of your territory, how big it is. Let the folks back home kind of know, how big is it really, man? You go everywhere. Is that true?
Yeah, I got a pretty big territory to take care of. It's a lot sometimes, but, I love it. I go everywhere from Wilmington, UNCW, over west to Lumberton, UNC Pembroke, got the hospitals over there, then back down south to Pawleys Island, so it's a pretty big territory.
Wow, so let's from point to point, what's your farthest, driving distance? Is it 2 hours away? How far away is your...
I'd say probably Methodist University's close to 3 hours, maybe 2:30, 2:45. Wow. But that's probably my furthest west I go.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. So, and what type of accounts do you, obviously we got colleges and universities, we got hotels. like kind of let everybody know, like your hands in a lot of cookie jars out there, correct?
Yeah, I have a little bit of what's known as a hybrid role. So I do things from hospitals to universities. I have national accounts, as I said before, Planet Fitness, things like that. High schools, I have child nutrition. I have the boosters. I have, things like that. Also, local street business. So when I say my territory, it spans from Lumberton to Wilmington back down here. It's all the street business as well.
So I think you said something about high schools and elementary schools. Are you working on anything special out there currently?
Funny you should ask that, Chris, because I'm actually working on the bid for Horry County Schools right now.
Horry County Schools. Like, how big is that? Like, how many schools are we talking there, Eric?
Between the high schools and middle schools, I don't have a correct answer, but I'd say it's got to be anywhere between 60 and 70 total schools.
Wow. And that spans all the way down to Pawleys Island, all the way up to North Myrtle Beach?
Actually, north of Pawleys. Pawleys is Georgetown County, but north of that to like Murrells Inlet to like Little River.
Excellent.
Yep.
Excellent. So kind of like think about like your time here at PBV. Like let us know about like an accomplishment that you're really, really proud of.
I'd have to say just recently the Coastal Carolina University bid. I mean, it was a pretty big one for the company, pretty big one for North Myrtle, us here. So, and I worked a long time on that with my bosses and everybody getting everything just right. And they were a super good business partner with us too. So
who's your boss? Is it some guy named Randy Peak or something like that? What's his story?
Let me check my contacts and see. Yeah, Randy Peak is his name. But yes, Randy Peak. Wonderful man, Byron Brooks, both of them. They're very engaged. They were engaged during that
and
process.
I heard Randy
also.
Peak is a big NC State fan. Is that correct?
Oh, he loves them. Yeah, he goes to all the games. He's all red all the time. Yeah, he loves NC State.
I thought he was a Go Pack guy. He's Randy Peak's Go Pack all day long.
He definitely is.
We're just kidding. We know he's we know he loves Carolina out
does.
there. All right. So before we leave you today, we just created this new thing, courtesy of Kevin Wright out of Raleigh, North Carolina. He wanted us to come up with this kind of like a speed round. But we're going to call this Countdown to Zero, right? So Countdown to Zero is 3 questions, all right? Meant to be answered quickly. Whatever first thing pops in your head, let it rip. Sound good?
Let's roll.
All right. First thing, what is your favorite Pepsi soft drink?
Oh, man, I'm old school. Pepsi Cola. I love the original.
Okay,
No
Pepsi
doubt.
Cola. Great. Okay, and think about the best memory that you ever had with PBV.
Wow, there are so many. But to narrow it down to one is almost impossible. First thing that jumps in my head, we did axe throwing one time as a company retreat.
Was that Kersey Valley out there, like close to the Winston-Salem area?
It was.
Yeah.
And it was a difficult task, but it was super fun. With a lot of people I work with, we had a great time. I almost threw the axe at a couple people, but I held off.
That was scary. We had the whole entire food service team at Kersey Valley. Some of us were on zip lines above.
Yep.
Others were down below following like axe trails. Like you were going through the woods throwing axes.
Oh,
correct?
absolutely. It was the real
Yeah.
deal, man. I mean, you would see and hear things in the woods, so it was good to have an axe with you. So it was cool. It was a lot of fun.
And the last thing I want to hit on is, what is the thing? I already asked you what you're most proud of, but what is your biggest win? Like seriously, what is your biggest win since joining PBV?
Well, I'd have to say that was obviously one of them, but there were some transition periods that we had where UNCW, it's another big one for the Wilmington plant. I mean, they re-signed with us on a whim. Didn't go back out to bid, nothing. We just re-signed with them for 5 more years. So that was a really big one because we weren't exactly sure of the direction, but they basically sent an email and said, hey, you guys kill it so bad. You do such a good job out there. We just want to renew. We don't want to put it back out there. So that was really cool.
That's very cool.
Plus, you don't have to sit there and do a bid for hours and hours and hours. So you just put the stuff together and it looks good on paper and you just roll with it.
So Eric Carnucci, key account manager down here in the Myrtle Beach area, you own UNCW and Coastal Carolina. So you have the coast locked down. Is that correct?
I do. I definitely do. And I'm super proud of it. And I just want to say, it doesn't happen without the lifeblood. It doesn't happen without the TSMs who are super awesome, the RSMs at those plants, the PSAMs that help, that do everything under the sun to make it successful. So when I'm successful, they're successful and vice versa. And I could not do without them. They were so awesome.
Eric, I just want to say thank you very much for your service,
Yes,
dude.
indeed.
It's great to have you on the team. Like I said, I couldn't be more proud of you, man.
Thank you.
Great job, buddy.
Appreciate you.
Folks, have a great day, and we'll see you next time on the What's Poppin' at Pepsi Road Show. Have a great day.